What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Coffee and Closings. Obviously, this episode is a little bit different because it's just myself. I thought maybe kicking off the new year with like a solo episode, kind of what is Coffee and Closings? Who am I? Where do I want it to go? All of that beautiful stuff. I figured let's kick off the new year with that. I mean, we had the first one of the new year was actually Peak City Coffee. So go back and check that episode out. It was awesome. Shelly and Mike, they founded it, started it. They roast their own beans, obviously. And we got to record it in their roastery, I guess you call it, which was pretty awesome. So go check that episode out. But this is kind of just going to be like a little recap of like, who are we? What are we doing? All that good stuff. So first of all, I want to say thank you. Honestly, thank you for being a part of this community, this Coffee and Closings community. And it means the world to me that people from all over the country have been listening to this podcast. I figured maybe my friends and a few family members might listen to it, and it's growing like wild. So thank you guys. Thank you for, either commenting on the stuff or sharing it, or just listening. I mean, it's huge help for me just when you guys listen. And I hope that out of listening, you guys are getting something out of it. Obviously, the reason I started Coffee and Closings is I wanted to sit down with top professionals, right? Like my goal is I want to be the best realtor. I want to be number one. I want to be the best. I want to be the best husband. I want to be the best father. And so instead of me kind of just talking to all these people about, what makes them the best, why are they the best, how do they achieve greatness, all that stuff, whether it's in business or fatherhood or parenthood or, being a spouse or whatever it might be. I said, well, let's go into a room with a couple cameras and a couple microphones, and maybe somebody else has the same questions that I might have on how to be the best at whatever it is that you're doing. So that being said, thank you seriously for listening in, watching all that great stuff. So today, obviously I'm by myself, so I got a different coffee than I normally would get. Usually I get like a local roaster. But today we're actually and the bag is humongous, so that's why I don't have it. But today we're doing the Kirkland House Blend. Kirkland is Costco's brand, which is pretty cool. You can get a 2.5 pound bag for $20, which is insane, which, it would be like here, way too big for the camera. So that's what we got in here. We're going to rate it at the end. When I say we, I mean me. We'll kind of take it from there. But the podcast, I started it probably back in May or something like that. I don't know. This is episode 25, I believe it's going to be. And I thought that the last 24 guests were phenomenal. And I've enjoyed different conversations from each of them. I made a post on Instagram about kind of the top 5 things I've learned just from those 20, I think at the time, maybe 20 episodes or something like that. And I hope you guys go check it out. It's really, I think it's a good list because it's something that I'm implementing in my life or my business in 2026. So my goal for 2026 with the podcast is obviously to grow it, right? To be more engaged with you guys, the community, all that stuff, the Coffee and Closing community. And I think we have some really big guests lined up. Some that I have to travel by plane to get to, which I'm super excited about those, but I'm also really excited about the local people here that are killing it in their game. And some of those I'm like, wow, can't believe you took my call, but all right, let's do it. So I was super excited about those. And what I kind of want from the audience, right, you guys, the community, the coffee and closing community, all that stuff, is like, what are you guys wanting more to get out of this, right? Like, do you like hey, it's mostly obviously real estate agents. Do you like that? Do you want more business owners? Do you want more of like maybe do a Q&A once in a while or something like that? I want your feedback, kind of how can we make this better and how can we grow it? But I guess kind of before we gotten started, is my name's Ethan Lyons. I'm a broker, realtor in the state of North Carolina. I am a husband to Allison, a father to Amelia. Amelia is 9 months old now. So if you've been following Coffee and Closings, you followed her whole life so far, basically. And she's growing like a weed. She's just the happiest little baby. And so it's been awesome getting to be a first-time dad. I'm learning a ton. I do appreciate advice because I don't know what I'm doing, but we're figuring it out. Let's see what else. Yeah, the business, I've been in the real estate game for 7 years now. 2 of those, or let's see. I joined a brokerage when I first got my license. I was with them for like 8 or 9 months, I think. Left that brokerage, then went to Keller Williams for 4 years, I think. Yeah, 3 or 4 years, I don't know, something like that. And then left that, started my own brokerage, and then brought that brokerage 2 years later over to where I'm at now, which is Compass. And Compass has been awesome. But Compass has been awesome for me and what I was looking for in a big brokerage. Just trying to compete with other brokerages as a small independent is possible, and people are killing it, and it's the business model they want, all that stuff. For me, after 2 years of trying to do it, it was really hard to recruit agents, right? Like, who's Ethan Lyons? Why would I want to go work for Lyons Realty? All that stuff, or hang my license with them anyway. And so I said, all right, that's kind of a challenge. Obviously, you got the whole branding challenge, right? Like, you got to start from square one. One of the biggest challenges for me was like finding a CRM, finding the software I want the agents on at the firm to use, and building that out, and trial and error. My goodness, it's a lot of trial and error. Which is, I mean, even coming here, right? Like, yeah, they have systems in place, which is huge for me. I need systems in place, but there's still a lot of that, like, trial and error stuff. Agent recruitment. How do I do it? How do I go about it? Or in sales, like, how do I better understand what the client's pain points are, or understand the question behind the question they might be asking, right? Like, how's the market? Well, is there a deeper question to that? How's the market? Is it, hey, how's the market? Because I kind of want to, sell in the next year or two, right? Figuring out those things, and we're learning those. And obviously, like, the guests I have on the show have taught me a bunch about just how to be better realtor, how to be a better husband, how to be a better father, all that good stuff. But yeah, I think so. Anyway, I've been at Compass now since March, and it's been great. I don't have any plans of kind of going anywhere as of yet. I think it's a phenomenal company from the top down. Not trying to, like, recruit anybody to Compass or anything like that. But I think it's been really good for my business. I'm a brick and mortar guy through and through. Like, I love being in the office, love working with people, seeing, walking into the office and seeing the grind of other people, and then being like, man, I've been on TikTok all morning. What am I doing? Get up, get after it. And come into an office where, like, people are just really good at what they do motivates you to also be really good at what you do, right? To kind of master that craft. So yeah, before, I guess, in real estate, I started in real estate, which I got my license when I was 18. Didn't go to college or anything like that. But got my license when I was 18. Before that, I worked for a small residential land development company, and that was eye-opening, the fact that, like, I think land development is awesome. Like something one of my goals is kind of break into that space, personally. But I was like, I worked a lot with the new construction side of it, as far as like punch out lists and I don't know, that kind of stuff. And I was like, I think I would rather sell these suckers than build these suckers, like the actual homes. And so that kind of is what led me to get my license. And before that, I was in high school. So not a whole lot going on there. I worked at a hardware store, had a little phone repair shop company, if you can call it that. I did it from the bedroom of my home. I did that for like, I don't know, 4 years, all throughout high school. And that was really cool. But kind of going back to the real estate side, like when I was working for the land development company, part of my job was to work with the realtor who was on the buy side, and I was quote unquote representing the seller, not in like a real estate capacity, but in like they're telling me what needs to be fixed with the house, and I gotta jot it down or put tape on it or whatever, that kind of stuff. But I met some really great agents, and I didn't really even know what a realtor did. But I was like, this job looks sick, because after every walkthrough, final walkthrough, whatever, they're like, hey, let's go grab some lunch. Let's pop some champagne, the good stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm over here friggin' sweeping out garages and power washing houses and that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a pretty glamorous life, man. That's what I want to be doing. Get into it. And it's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great career. And it's been awesome. But yeah, so I'd say too, from being in the business 7 years, kind of like what I've learned, and this is cliche, like you guys have all heard this before, but I think you've heard it before because it's true. The business really is about relationships. Excuse me. It's pretty good coffee. We used to have this at the house. So I'm kind of familiar with it. The way I brewed it here is different than the way we brewed it at the house, so it's a little better here. But anyway, business is about relationships. But you can probably say that for a lot of businesses. I think that in real estate, the relationship dynamic is the most important dynamic, only because when you're in real estate, right, it's easy to be very transactional, and like you realtors listening to this, you're like, yeah, I've freaking heard this 1,000 times, and I'm sorry. But it's easy to be transactional, meaning it's easy to get a client. Well, it's hard to get a client, but once you get that client, it's easy to make that client about the dollar sign that you're looking at on the closing disclosure right before closing. Like, boom, we're getting paid. We are out. We are going out for dinner, whatever. I'm buying a new car, whatever it might be. And obviously we're in this business to make money. And I can go on a little tangent about that, but I think the important side of the relationship piece is that relationship, whether they never buy or sell again, whatever, like you make a friend in that, you make, family friends in that, however that might work, but chances are they are going to buy or sell again, right? They say the average person sells, I want to say, every 7 years. And I'm starting to see that now, 7 years in, like, hey, houses I sold 5, 6 years ago, they're calling me now and saying, yeah, I think we've outgrown this space. Let's try to look for something a little bigger. Let's sell what we got and buy something bigger. And I think it was vital that I maintain those relationships through that time. And I'm going to just go on my little tangent here because this kind of drives me nuts. Is people, realtors, and I guess I don't know if I've been guilty of it. Maybe I have. I don't know. That us as realtors sometimes like to think we're superheroes, and we're not. We're just not. Like, I have a brother who's a state trooper. I have a wife who is a nurse, and she was a nurse in the OR at Duke, Big Duke, which is like, if you know anything about that, like it's crazy. Like you got gunshot wound people and people dying in the waiting room because the wait's so long. Um, like when I think of heroes, like that's a hero, right? But a real estate agent, we're not heroes. We get paid quite a bit to do a job that we're expected to do very well. So I think that to look at it, like for me anyway, is okay. I'm not gonna look at myself like a superhero because I'm not, right? I have an office job essentially, and I'm assisting people in buying and selling homes to make money. That's why I'm in it, is to get a paycheck. That's why anybody has a job, is to make money, to support their family. Um, that doesn't mean that like everything's black and white in the business and there's, like relationships don't matter, right? Like that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is like we get paid a lot of money as real estate agents to be very good at our job. And that's why 80% of or 20% of people, let me make sure I'm saying this right. 20% of agents do 80% of the work or something like that. I could be saying that wrong. I don't know. But it's something like that. Those 20% of agents that are out there doing all the work, they do an exceptional job. And I don't, think they're like, well, I only do it because I'm a hero. I think they do it because it pays well and they enjoy doing what they do. Like I love doing what I do because I truly am a people person. Like I'm an extrovert person. I love talking to people, getting to meet people, hearing people's stories is one of my favorite things. That's why I love doing the podcast. And yeah, I just, so I wanted to put that out there because I know a lot of agents like to think that we're a lot more virtuous maybe than we are. And like, oh, well, I'm only in it to help. Well, then donate your commission. But that's my little tangent. I think just being an exceptional agent is hard because it's a hard business. It's hard to find clients. It's hard to retain clients, and then it's hard to keep those clients that trust you and know you and like you and all that stuff. But that being said, um, I think being an exceptional agent comes down to a few things. One, I think being an exceptional agent is you got to grind. That's plain and simple. Like you got to work hard. You can't just sit on the couch and expect people to call you because it just doesn't work that way. When I first got my license, I was 18 and I was like, sweet. I put realtor, NC realtor in my bio. I have a business email. I have business cards. People are going to start calling me. Nobody called me. Nobody. First of all, probably because I was 18 and didn't know squat. Second of all, is because you start any business, people probably aren't just coming to you. You got to get the word out, right? You got to let people know that you're in business and that you can be trusted with that business. Obviously, real estate is one of the largest investments somebody's going to make in their life is buying a home, and they are entrusting you to brokerage that deal and to protect their investment by knowing and understanding the market and equity value. But I think that grinding as hard as you can, especially when you first start, is vital. I mean, I think you probably have to grind all the time, especially as you get more business. It's just more of a grind. But yeah, to be exceptional, and then also to be exceptional is to be exceptional at, here's the word again, building relationships, right? Like, because it's true. Like, how to go to, let's say you're part of a golf club, right? Like, you have a membership, and you start to see the same guys or girls every day, and every time you go anyway, other members, and you start to get to know them and hang out with them. Like, do you know their wife or their husband or their kids or their dog or where they live or what they like to eat, what they like to drink? what kind of cigar are they puffing in the cart? Um, those kind of things. Like, do you really know the people? Do you know them? Do you know what they believe in? Do you know their morals? I think just being exceptional at building relationships is going to take you farther than any like maybe monetary price you put up. Like, hey, I want to sell, whatever it might be, 15, 20, 30 million this year. Well, if you don't have a goal of how many relationships you're going to build, you're probably not going to hit that number, in my opinion. But anyway, those are kind of my little tangents on the matter. And let's go back to coffee and closings for a second, because the reason I started it was to be better at what I do. And I'm not the perfect agent, obviously, but I'm learning a ton. And I think me trying to like humble myself, sitting across from an agent who I'd say probably almost every agent, and I don't know their transaction history, but just from the bits I've known them, are more successful than me. And so like to sit down and really be like, okay, yeah, I think sometimes I'm really good. And then I'm like, I sit down from these agents, I'm like, my goodness, like they're doing this, they're doing that. They're, posting on social media every day. They're taking their, past clients out to lunch. They're just doing all the things that make great agents great. And so that's why I'm learning. And that's why I hope you're here too, is to just learn, hear great agents. Also, I think another big pro of the podcast is if I have an agent sitting across from me that you listen to and you're like, man, I really like him or her. Like they are really great. But you are in Austin, Texas, and you have a client coming to this area, like refer them to the agent that you liked listening to, right? I think that's huge. And I think that we can really grow that. When I say grow the coffee community, coffee and closings community, I mean, like, grow it that way too. Like, let's grow as other agents across the country. And if you're in another part of the country and you're like, hey, I've listened to the cast, like, reach out. I want to get to know you. Right? Maybe I have a client going to where you are, and I would love to send them your way. But yeah, I think 2026 is gonna be a really good year for coffee and closings. I think having some really good, like, just top producer kind of people, just business-minded people, local leaders, builders, just big names in our industry. I don't know what I mean our industry. I mean the real estate industry and other industries. That's kind of my goal, is to kind of branch out a little bit more, maybe into just business in general. For example, we had Mike and Shelly on of Peak City Coffee last week. They aired last week. They started a coffee roastery. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Coffee roastery? Coffee roaster? I don't know. But that being said, like, I learned a lot from Mike and Shelly that I can implement into my own business. I mean, just the fact that he had a full-time corporate job, benefits, all that beautiful stuff, and then left that to go full-time roasting beans and then become successful at it. I mean, that's the dream, right? And so I want to have more people like that. Like, I can learn from somebody who started a restaurant or a, boutique shop in a small town. Like, they took risks, and they've built something that was successful. So I feel, me personally, and hopefully the audience as well, can take something away and then implement that into your life, or business or whatever it may be. But yeah, I'm really excited about 2026. I love the community that is building, and I hope it builds even more. And like I said, like your, I don't know, feedback. I don't know if feedback is the right word. Your engagement. That's what we're looking for. Your engagement is huge for the podcast, right? Just liking the videos on YouTube or whatever, or listening on Spotify, and I get downloads from that, is massive. But if you are liking the show, and I hope you are, then please share it with somebody. Send an episode and say, hey, I learned, whatever from this episode. Hope you do too. And maybe they'll learn something and then listen to another episode and learn something and then send it to a friend. That's my hope. And I think we can really grow this thing together. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm really excited about it. Let's see. I got anything else on the slate for you guys? We haven't been rolling that long. I don't know how long I want to make this. Oops. I don't know how long I want to make this. We're at like 26 minutes right now. And I don't know how long you guys want to listen to me ramble about nonsense for. But I guess I'll kind of... Oh, you know what's cool? If you guys want to know my New Year's resolutions, I didn't really write any of them down, so I probably should. And I want to know, do you guys when you make New Year's resolutions, do you write them down, put them on a board? What do people call those? Vision boards. Do you have one of those? I don't do any of that. I probably should at least write down my goals. But anyway, my goal is I would like to go to the gym 4 times a week, minimum. Ideally 5. I want my routine to be I get up at 5:30, go to the gym, go to work. Another resolution is to read the Bible every day. My brother gave us it's like a 5x5x5 or something. I forget what it's called, but basically it's a whole New Testament in a year, and it's a chapter a day, I think, for 5 days a week. And so my routine has been get up at 5:30, read, right now we're in Mark, whatever, 6, and take some notes, all that good stuff, and then go to the gym, come back, shower, go to work. Goal-wise for the business, that actually I didn't set. I probably should have. I always have. But then I never looked back at what were my goals? I wanted to do X amount in volume or whatever. 2025, I think I either hit it or was super close to what the goal was. But I don't even remember what the goal was for last year. And so I'm I don't know. Why even try? I think my goal for this year is going to be more relationship focused. How many people can I add to my CRM that I can call and they're going to answer, right? Not just a open house lead or anything. That doesn't count because they're probably not going to answer. But how many people can I get put into my database that I built a relationship with, whether that's through golf or going to a cigar lounge or, I don't know, another dad or something. I don't know. And I also want to look for ways to improve where I do build those relationships, be more active in trying to find relationships. And not just for the monetary reason of having a relationship and then them buying or selling and then I make money and that's great. But, as you get older, it is kind of tougher to find friends. It really just is. And so just meeting people and hanging out with them and getting to know them and their wife and their kids, their dog or whoever. So that's kind of a goal for me. I did complete a goal in 2025. Well, I have 10 days left on the goal, actually, where I wanted to speak Spanish. So I was going to do Duolingo every day for 365 days. I'm at 355 days because I started late for last year for a reason I can't remember. And I don't know a lick of Spanish, but I did my time every day for 355 days. And it hasn't helped, probably because I tried to, in high school, do the bare minimum to get out of there. So I would do the bare minimum on Duolingo to get my streak to go to the next day. So I feel yes, I got it in a sense that I wanted to do 365 days of Spanish, but I didn't get it because I didn't learn any Spanish. I can probably read it better than I can speak it. Because on Duolingo, this is a little sidetrack here for you guys if you want to do Duolingo. On Duolingo, you can, you go through a lesson, and on that lesson, it's usually like fill in the blank or whatever, or it's like read this sentence into the microphone and it'll tell you if you're saying it correctly, or listen to this audio and translate it into the Spanish audio and translate it into English, or vice versa. But you can say on there, can't speak right now or can't listen right now. And I always press those buttons. One, it's a little embarrassing trying to speak Spanish at home when my wife's sitting right there. She took Spanish in college. She's like, that is not how you say that word, or whatever. So to mitigate that, I just pressed can't talk, can't listen. That's probably why I don't know any Spanish, honestly. But yeah, that was the goal from last year. So 10 days away from hitting that in a way. Kind of feel like I cheaped out on it. But yeah, and then, I mean, I don't know how tangible it is, or how to like track it, but to just be more of a present father. Like, yeah, I got to go to work. I got to spend time away from my daughter and my wife because I'm the provider for the household. But when I am home, I want to be more engaged, phone down, on the floor, on my hands and knees, playing with my little 9-month-old Amelia. And that's a goal, is to just be more intentional with the time that I have with her. So far, so good on that. Sometimes, like I come home from a day and I just want to lay on the couch and be on my phone or watch King of Queens, one of my favorite shows. And I'm looking back and I'm like, where'd this 9 months go? And I'm like, I don't want to look back in 18 years and be like, where'd those 18 years go? Oh, I was watching King of Queens or The Office or scrolling on TikTok or whatever it might be. So that's a goal, is to just be more intentional about that. Allison, if you're listening, let's go on some more dates. Let's make that a goal. Let's go on some more dates. We have only been on 3 maybe since the baby was born. So that's not good. Okay, this is probably my last one, is I'm not skipping leg day this year, man. I'm not doing it. So my order at the gym is I got to push, pull, leg, and then it's an upper body and full body. So that's 5 days. And every year, or every leg day for my whole life, so you can't see the bottom half of me, but if you did, it'd be like this. Because I always skip leg day. So my goal is to not skip leg day. I didn't skip it yesterday, and it is going to take me a while to get out of this chair. Because like any gym goer, you hit a muscle group for the first time in a long time, and you think, oh yeah, I still got it. So you go balls to the wall, and then you're sore, and you're just like popping ibuprofen or whatever you're doing to feel better. Because even going up and down stairs is a killer. Just walking sucks. And this is why I skip leg day. It's for this reason right here. But if I don't skip leg day, eventually my muscles will just start getting used to it. Maybe be a little sore. A little sore is good. But I won't be this sore. So that's also a goal of mine for 2026. I would love to know what y'all's goals are. Professionally, personally, whatever. So if you have any, let me know, because maybe I'll steal them. I probably don't need more goals, because you pile on a bunch of goals and then you only hit half of them, or one of them, like last year, like Spanish. And even that, like, again, then you feel like a loser. So, yeah, I guess I don't need any more goals, but I would love to know your goals, because I'd love to be like, yeah, you keep on keeping on. And the beauty of what I'm doing right now is now all of you know my goals. And so you can text me or call me and be like, yo, spending time with your daughter. I can be honest or lie. So you better text my wife about that, actually. Or, did you go to the gym or read the Bible today? Like, yes, no. I have this app on my phone. This one right here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's called Streaks. Because the one thing about Duolingo that allowed me to keep doing Duolingo is I have it like, again, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like the big widget right there. That would be like some, a little bird or whatever their icon is crying like, you didn't do your Spanish today. Your streak's about to end. So then I'll click it, do my Spanish, and that would go away. So I'm like, hey, maybe there's a way there's an app out there that I can keep track of mine, and it'll say like, hey, you're a loser today unless you complete this. And there is. It's called Streaks. It's awesome. I paid like, I don't know, $2 for it. There's probably a free app out there, but this is the one that had the highest reviews. So on there I have my Bible, like read the Bible, and you just click it and hold it. Yes, you did it. And the gym. And those are my like daily tasks that I want to get done every day. Well, gym is 4 days a week, but so yeah, I would love to know what your goals are, and please keep me accountable for my goals. But I think 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year. I really do. I'm juiced up for it. I guess most people are juiced up at the beginning of the year, and that's where I'm at with everybody else. I'm not deflated yet. 2025 didn't take my soul, so I still got it for 2026. But that being said, Kirkland, what was it, medium or a house roast, house blend, the Kirkland House Blend, the $20 2.5 pound bag. It's fine. I don't know, maybe like 5.8. It's like a little better than average. I don't know, like what I probably should establish a baseline, right? Like to this morning, I was at a different office, and there was it wasn't Folgers, Maxwell House or something like that. It was terrible. So that one was like a 3, and this is definitely better than that for sure. A 1 would be like, I don't know, dirt water. Like you go out in a puddle, scoop it up, but that's not really coffee, so I don't know. But this one was good, decent for $20. If you put it in perspective like that, for $20 and you get 2.5 pound bag. By the way, a 2.5 pound bag is big. It'll last you a long time. Yeah, we're gonna stick with the 5.8. Kirkland's probably not listening to this, so won't offend them. And usually 99.999% of the time, extremely honest with my reviews, and whether they're listening or not. So 5.8, Kirkland House Blend. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I've been rambling on for probably longer than you're listening to, but that's okay. Please like, subscribe, all the things that everybody tells you to do. Please do it. Share. Like, it helps immensely. You can find me at Ethan Lines Realtor, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at any time. So follow me there, and DM me. Tell me what your goals are. Say, Ethan, I love coffee and closings, man. It's changing my life. That would be dope. That'd be a cool DM to get. I don't think we're changing everybody's lives because, again, we're not heroes, but maybe your business is getting better because of a guest that came on and inspired you to do something. So I'm excited for 2026. Thank you guys again so much from the bottom of my heart for listening, tuning in, whether it's just for one episode or you've been following along this journey the whole time. Doesn't matter. Thank you. Let's make 2026 a great year. Yeah? All right. Bye, everybody.